And we're live.
Hey,
Yo.
We're back.
Wee.
we took a week off because someone's got some stories to tell.
True.
Yeah, hey, I was in LA. I went and attended the Game Awards in person.
He himself awarded the game.
It's
I
true.
wish. What do you want to know from someone who's attended the Game Awards?
Why didn't you go up on stage? They
Yeah.
let anybody up there, so.
It's so easy to do, apparently, yeah.
You just walk up. You just hang out with all the people from software. It's no
Look,
big.
you were on my bingo card, and I would have won if you had gone up on stage, all right? That's all I'm saying.
It seems like they definitely seated us in kind of like-minded sections, like the journalists area were like all together,
Yeah.
and all of the like celebs and whatever, they were kind of all on the opposite side.
Sure.
So that's why you didn't see me, because they kept pointing the camera over where that stage was, the like in crowd stage, which is also where a lot of the celebs were seated.
Sure.
You didn't get to hang out with Christopher Judge, is what you're saying?
No, did not.
Didn't we all get to hang out with Christopher Judge for a long time?
I was about to say, like, I spent a lot of time
Dude,
listening to Christopher Judge.
Whatever. I loved him in Stargate SG-1, so I'm happy to see him just kind of get to talk for like 20 minutes or whatever it was for an award.
He's got a good voice for it, so why not?
He does.
That was pretty wild that it just kept going.
See, he just wanted to help give out those free Steam Decks to
All the
people.
Steam Decks,
That was his
yeah.
plan.
Absolutely.
It works for me. Another bingo thing I had was somebody gets played off the stage. So it worked for me.
After Judge, I feel like almost everyone got played off the
Yes.
stage. Like they definitely had to like do some math and like, all right, everyone just lost 15 seconds of talking.
And yet they still had the segments where like, all right, we're going to do 10 awards now because we have more world premieres to show you or whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of weird to me that the Game Awards is so very little about the awards at all, but I get it.
I mean,
It
like,
pays- it
you
pays
know,
the bills.
if it's exactly,
Yeah.
if it's just awards, they can't put the show on. People aren't going to tune in. So it needs to be kind of three different things all rolled up in one for any of them to kind of exist.
Yeah.
That's just, that's how it's been forever, right? So, the kid though, let me tell you about what that was like being
Okay.
there, because I understand it was a bit different on stream.
Sure.
So everyone like standing ovation for From Software. They did it. They got the game of the year. Congratulations. And then after From Software finished their speech, they cut the mic. They do that for everyone. They bring the mic down so that no like walking off noises or scuffling gets heard while they're trying to transition.
Sure.
So the kid came on and started talking, and I guess on stream for you guys, you could hear him.
Yes.
So we couldn't hear him.
Oh, okay.
And that's why you see him kind of like look up like something was wrong, is because he couldn't hear himself in the auditorium, and we're like, wait, hang on, who is this? Like, we thought it was legit.
Sure.
But they had already cut the mic, so they brought it back on, and we just hear Bill Clinton.
Oh, wow, weird.
And then they start to leave the stage, and the security comes up and kind of like grab him and usher him off. So we were all just like, what was that?
What just happened? Yeah.
And then for like the next hour, we're like on Twitter and like telling people like, oh, this is what the full thing was. Here's the full clip. And then we're talking about it, and we're seeing exactly what he said. Because
That's hilarious.
From the crowd, it was even more baffling because we didn't get most of the statement or whatever.
That's
So,
hilarious.
I'm not going to lie to you. When they went up on stage, I thought to myself, why do they have some white kid with them? But then I thought, oh, it's probably like showing them around or something, like they're not from here. But no, he just snuck up with them.
I didn't even notice the kid until near the end. I just saw him standing there, and I was like, oh, maybe he's just like another translator, or he's with the group.
Right.
But then he came up,
Yeah.
and then I was like, what does this kid have to say? Like, what is? I guess this person's part of From Software. But then again, we couldn't hear what he said.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was so confusing.
Weird.
Being at the Game Awards was cool. It was cool seeing a bunch of people seated right directly behind me. And this is a shout out for the Canadians out there. Victor Lucas from Electronic
yeah.
Playground.
Nice.
Someone was just chatting with people behind me, and then eventually I turn around and I see my friend chatting with him, and I was like, oh, hey to my friend. and there's Victor Lucas, and I was like, holy shit, that's Victor Lucas I've been hearing this entire time. My friend comes over and says hi to me, and I was like, you know Victor Lucas? I like grew up watching that guy. And he's like, oh, I could introduce you. And I was like, okay, sure. I went over and I met Victor Lucas and introduced myself, and I was like, I grew up watching Electric Playground. This is great.
The one time I got to meet him at like a video games live event once, he seems super nice.
Yeah, absolutely super nice. Yeah, he asked like, what am I doing down here? Since I said I was from Calgary and stuff. Yeah, very nice guy for sure. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool seeing kind of how the sausage was made, where they like transition over. You see people like setting up and getting ready to go, and Keeley with his crew, and where they like direct everyone and the stands. It was cool being there for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
How is it seeing segments like where they have like the Muppets and stuff like that set up? Like, how are those weird segments?
So yeah, he was on. I guess that's the first time I've kind of seen how the sausage is made with the Muppets.
Oh, sure.
Turns out there's a person under there.
Yeah.
What? Immersion ruined.
Yeah, just just the guy's underneath there, and he's got Animal up, and he's just being wacky. Like it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. And Jeff Keighley's talking to Animal, and Animal's yelling about Melina.
Yep.
As his favorite. So yeah, it was cool. Hopefully I'll get to go again.
Yeah.
We got plenty to talk about because it's been 2 weeks and so much news has happened. We've been playing a lot of games, so let's get right into the show now. Top-down perspective, December 15th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
John Wheeler.
You want to get this housekeeping on the way? On the top?
Yeah. I was definitely about to skip over that. If people haven't listened to our Shovel Knight Dig episode of TDP Plus, definitely go do that because it is live. In a couple weeks, we will be doing an episode all about Sonic Frontiers, which is the next TDP Plus game. Not next week, but the following week is our Game of the Year episode. You have until the 20th to submit your votes into our community poll.
Yeah.
So if you haven't set up the survey, gone through that, go do that so that we can tally all the votes before then. Again, that's December 20th is your date. December 29th is our Game of the Year episode. Patrons, you have a specific Patreon poll that you can vote on that will also get incorporated into that event. So stay tuned for that.
Also, a TVP will be up sometime around the next couple weeks as well.
Yeah, Paul and I will have a Christmas TVP. I believe we're recording this weekend about Avatar 2.
It's not true, but yes.
Oh, God.
The ultimate Christmas movie, Avatar 2.
Yep.
And then early January, Paul and I will have our movies and TV shows of the year episode. So if you want to hear what our favorite and least favorite movies, along with the TV shows you've been watching, that'll be coming early January. So some TVP back to back almost. A
lot of stuff coming up.
Yes, for sure. We'll be busy talking into microphones. I want to ask you guys though, before we get into what you're playing, what's your Christmas plans? It's weirdly close to Christmas.
Weirdly?
10 days. 10 days.
Well, I don't know if John feels this, but it's like I have like a week left of work.
I have a week. I have 2 weeks of work. In fact, I don't stop work till like Christmas Eve. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, it's like it came up really quick. Like I'm like done in like 5 days almost.
My industry doesn't shut down, so Christmas means nothing.
Mine only shuts down because I just don't want to fucking stream on Christmas Day.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I actually don't work Christmas this year anyway because it's on my days off, so I'm probably just going to go visit parents.
My mom flew up here today. She's currently at my sister's place. My dad will be there in a day or two as well. He had some stuff to handle back home.
Nice.
And then I'll just see them over Christmas break, and my sister, brother-in-law, and my nephews.
Cool.
And then I leave for MagFest in the first week of January.
Right on. Nice. Is this the first time back, or did you go this year?
This will be my first convention period since the pandemic.
All right. Colin, you'll be going up to Edmonton again?
Yeah, probably just for the weekend. Back to work on Boxing Day.
Nice. My mom was visiting. I just dropped her off at the airport yesterday. My dad comes down next Wednesday, and then he's here for Christmas.
Nice.
Okay, let's talk about what we've been playing. We got 2 weeks of it. John, you got a bit of a shorter list. Let's talk about some Midnight Suns.
Yes.
All right. I finally played Midnight Suns. I played it on stream a couple weeks ago when it came out. That game is better than I expected it to be.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest, I
What
wasn't
did you
expecting
expect?
much out of it because not much personally.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like it kind of got shuffled around and felt like it just kind of got released out of nowhere. So I was worried it wasn't going to be very good. But the bit I played, I actually really enjoyed.
Okay.
The tactics system is interesting. You basically get it's a card based combat. You get a hand dealt to you, and those are your moves, and they dictate like, okay, this is clearly like Captain Marvel, this is Iron Man, this is Doctor Strange, this is Spider Man, etc. You have so many movement points that you use, or so many attack points. You get like one free move as well, but otherwise, like if you need one character to go run over and hit someone, they'll just go and do it. It's mostly simplified, but there's like things you can do for free actions, like position yourself over here, and then you can kick this couch into like X amount of enemies. Like simple enemies will die from one hit. Stronger enemies will have like a health meter. Your cards will have damage indicators and like target indicators, and they'll just have like AoE icons and like stuff like that that you can work on. You can build up, I forget what they call them, prestige moves or heroic points or something like that, which will let you use like more powerful moves that'll target everyone and stuff like that. You eventually also make your own character. There's like an avatar character you make called the Hunter.
Yeah,
and
that's the actual name of them, right? Like there's a joke about that.
The Hunter, yeah, is their
Yeah.
name. And they're the son or daughter of the main villain, so they're the only one who took them down the path, so they get revived. And it starts off weird because like your first group is like Tony Stark, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange, and then you go talk to like the original like what's his name, Ghost Rider, who just like basically tells you to fuck off and leaves. And then you do the tutorial, and then you go to Doctor Strange's house, and then Captain Marvel shows up, and then you do another tutorial about like changing characters and like controls and stuff like that, dealing with bigger groups. But like they'll give you like waves of enemies, and then you just kind of deal with them. And like if once you run out of turns, like more enemies come in unless you're at the end of the battle. There'll be bosses you have to deal with later on. Where I got to was there's an overworld you can run around in now.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it, like the Sanctum or the something like that.
Yeah.
You can find keys on missions to unlock chests for new moves. You can talk to other heroes and like build up friendship with them, so they give you like extra perks and like benefits and stuff like that. You can
Right.
eventually add in more moves and stuff like that, but like it was weird because like especially going from XCOM to this, because this had so much more dialogue than I'm used to for like a Firaxis style game.
I didn't know there was actual gameplay because I watched 20 minutes of a streamer like the night before that they did a sponsor thing for this, and I wanted to see what
Yeah.
it was like. It was literally all just visual novel, them talking to people. I'm like, what the fuck
intro-
is this?
The intro is very cutscene heavy,
It
and
was
then
insane.
like yeah. No, I think it's definitely more cutscene than game, but the gameplay was actually pretty solid, so I
Okay.
actually liked it.
Cool.
Yeah, so I do recommend it if you like tactics games.
Nice.
Played more of the Night Witch. That's
Okay.
the game I talked about, the bullet hell Metroidvania.
Yep.
Well,
It
I actually played this now.
Oh, hey, nice.
Nice.
It's actually pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm farther in, so I've got some more levels, got some more moves, and it definitely like opens up when you get all these different spell cards. I've got one that like every kill gets you more magic back, so now I can just kind of pump out spells faster and faster. And like when you level up, you get upgrades for like your actual attack, or you can pick upgrades for your health, your magic, etc. So still enjoying that.
Yeah. My problem with it is the magic attacks.
Hmm.
Because they shuffle through.
Yeah.
I feel like I would do better. I would be less frustrated if I could always know, like, okay, Y I have set to a shield ability, B I have set to my like Gatling gun ability.
Mm.
Because since it shuffles through, I don't want to take the time to like look like what's still there, what's available, how much do I have, because I'm dodging bullets. So I kind of just like hope something good is there, but I feel like I would be
I agree with you
fighter.
to a point. I agree with you to a point. I got used to it after a while, but I definitely was like, man, I really just wish like Y was always like my turn on machine gun, or like X was like my 3 homing shots. But eventually, like, because your deck is only 6 slots, so and your hand is 3, so basically you use 3 spells, you just got the other half of your deck, and then it reshuffles back in. But so you eventually get used to it, or you can just keep putting in the same card when you get duplicates of the cards. So then you're just like,
Right.
okay, well then I know I can make all my cards like this exact same move, so I always have this. But yeah, no, eventually I just got to a point where I was like, okay, cool. I'll just like quick glance, I would recognize the color. I'm like, okay, that's that spell, so I don't really need to glance that hard. It's just a you get used to it kind of deal.
Okay.
But I do kind of agree with Sean that I think that would be a positive improvement, is if you could just kind of lock some of those moves in.
Yeah.
But you do get some really interesting spells later on. You can make some wild combinations.
Cool. I was gonna ask you real quick, just because Bullet Hill. Have you ever played the Akai Katana games? I guess they released it back on Xbox a long time ago.
I think I played one of them.
Okay, because they've just released it recently on Steam, and I was wondering if it was any good. If I should check that out.
Let me make sure I'm thinking of the right game, because I can see the box art for the Xbox in my head. I want to make sure that's the one.
Like, it's Cave, so it's probably good, but I don't know if it's like...
If it's K, oh yeah, okay. That's the one. I was thinking that box art. Yeah, no, you'll enjoy that. I mean, it's a bullet hell.
Like, it looks Death Smiles-ish. It's
Yeah,
horizontal,
I mean,
so...
it's a good, like, basically, if it's a cave game, like,
It's probably fine.
You're gonna get what you want, yeah.
Alright.
What else did I play? Bots are stupid. I literally just got off stream playing this. I had a sponsored segment today for it.
Oh, okay.
Yogscast Games put this out. This is a brutal platforming game, like a Super Meat Boy style game, but you are actually programming robots to do all the platforming for you. So on the side of your screen is like a list of commands, like, okay, move right, wait 0.25 seconds, shoot grappling hook, jump, stuff like this. So you have to basically program a bot to do all the work to get through the stage. There's cool momentum physics with it, with like little boost pads and like the grappling hook. You can do some interesting maneuvers from stuff like that. There's also Twitch integration, so my chat actually got to try to solve some of the stages, which was interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if you like, I guess if you like programming or kind of like nitty gritty, like there's no other way to describe it, because you're literally programming it. They give you pop-ups so you don't have to like keep typing everything in. It's just like, okay, you don't know what the command is, just like click this. It'll tell you the syntax. It's like, okay, type in like wait 0.5 or something like that, and now wait 0.5 seconds or just stuff like that. They'll guide you in, but it's a little off. Like, they'll tell you like, hey, use this move, and then it won't be in the drop down list till the next stage for some reason. So you have to, there's like, the tutorial needs some tweaking, but like the game itself seemed perfectly fine. Like, if you like minute, like if you like nitty gritty, like, okay, I need to like, how do I do this? No, this isn't working. Let's reduce this by 1, reduce this by 1, reduce this by 1 to like get like every minute move. Like, it's very trial and error, but like it's weirdly satisfying if that's what you're into.
You're not actually doing any of the platforming. You're just inputting commands.
You're just inputting commands. Yeah.
Okay.
There is also a level editor, so you can make the stage to make other people go through that. But like, yeah, the main game is basically just program a bot to do all the work. It was neat.
Nice.
Cool.
And then I played a classic arcade game which got ported to the Switch, which was Elevator Action Returns S Tribute. This was the Japanese Sega Saturn exclusive port of Elevator Action Returns, which had never been re-released. So, Elevator Action is a game where like you run around, you go into like apartment buildings and stuff like that, and you find like hidden documents, and then just kind of get out of a stage while getting shot at. The elevator action parts because you have to take all these elevators to go between all these weird floors. Returns is like this much more action heavy version of it, where like you've got like bosses running around, like you've got just like all these like heavy enemies, explosions everywhere. Like the final stage is on like a time limit, and you need to get rid of a nuke before it fires off and blows up the world, stuff like that. Actually, really cool to play, like surprisingly fun.
Cool.
Port works okay.
Good port, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't a like remake or anything. Then it is a port of that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's a port of the Saturn version. Yeah, so if you played that one, then this is literally that.
I have not, but
I've heard good things about it. Has the original game and the original elevator action in there. If you want to play the original arcade game.
Cool.
That's all I played basically.
All right, Sean, what do you got?
Oh, me? Okay, I can go. I've been playing a game called Swordship. This is a self-titled dodge 'em up, where you are. So the narrative is there. It's kind of an apocalyptic scenario where there's water everywhere, and everyone lives underwater now, and there are like supply shipments that get dropped above on the water. And then you and your ship have to go get them and like deliver them underneath to the society.
Mhm.
But the way you do that is kind of think of it like it almost looks like bullet hell, in which like there's a track that everything is kind of moving down the track, and you can move your ship through it. But what'll happen is there will be like mines, there will be gunners that will be shooting at you, and they'll very obviously telegraph what they're about to do, and you need to get out of the way of the explosion or the shot. And more specifically, you don't have any kind of weapon. So
Right.
you need to use their shots to shoot the other guns. So
Okay.
for example, like there will be like a flying one that like drops mines on you and it targets you and it says, "Okay, I'm gonna shoot here," and then you need to dodge out of the way. But if you go right beside a gun and it says, "I'm gonna shoot right here," and then you dodge out of the way, the explosion from that shot hitting the water will destroy or damage the gun that you were right beside.
Right. Okay.
So
I
there's an
get you.
element of getting, but it's hard because you're moving pretty fast. It's kind of a pretty like fluidy, wobbly movement. So you got to be careful that you're not like running into stuff.
Mhm.
So there's an element of like I need to get close to this, but not too close that I'm going to touch it. Then I need to make sure that I'm dodging at the right moment. Or you could play it safe and just not go near anyone, but the area is going to start to fill with weapons and whatnot. So it's going to get pretty hard to do what you need to do. Because the main goal is the supply ships will come down and there'll be a little thing saying, "Hey, get on this track here. There's a supply ship coming. You need to get there. You need to sit there. You need to pick it up. And then you need to go to a specific landing dock that will also move along the track. You need to sit there for like 3 seconds before it'll drop it underwater."
Wow.
And if you do that
Okay.
like 4 times or whatever the level is, I think it ranges from like 2 to 5-ish. You'll finish the stage. And it's run based. There's like 3 worlds, I think, and then a final boss, which I have not beaten yet.
Mhm.
And then I think it's like 3 to 4 stages per world. Each time you finish a world, every shipment or container that you sent below, you then get a bit of a risk reward. Do you want to stash the container for points and just make it like a score run you're doing to see the best score you can get? Or do you want to keep the container for yourself? If you keep it for yourself, you can then choose to open the container and get a power up,
Okay.
which can be stuff like you deliver the containers faster, or you can dive underwater for longer, or stuff like that. One that's super useful is because a lot of the enemies that come from underwater is if you put your ship on top of it, you'll block them from spawning. That's a pretty
Oh,
useful one.
wow. That's cool.
Or you can choose to not get a power up and you can just cash them all in for extra lives because again, it is one hit you're dead in this game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's pretty interesting, super arcadey. If that seems up your alley, it's called Swordship, and I believe it came out 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, maybe.
10 days by the looks of it. The 5th.
I'm looking this one up now.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
It's
looking.
kind of it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Wavetail. I'll just keep talking about all the water games. So it's a post-apocalyptic scenario where everything has been flooded.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I didn't even put those together until I was talking about Swordship earlier. Wavetail is a game that came out on Stadia a while back, and now it's free. Free
Okay.
for everyone to play. It's not actually free. You do have to pay money for it, but it's free out of Stadia.
Yeah,
what
I
meant.
got you.
I should clarify there. This is a pretty mediocre 3D platformer.
Sure. Okay.
It's like in terms of the platforming and everything, it's like a 5 out of 10. You get a double jump right off the bat.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Not only do you get a double jump, you get a double jump and you can glide, and the glide moves nice and fast, so you can like really cover some distance. That's great too. Combat is tedious. There is nothing to this combat. You just hit the X button over and over again, and everything dies. There's no dodge. There's no heavy attack. There's no need to even dodge because your life regenerates just immediately. Like it's so I don't even know how to die basically unless you were trying to the point where I started running past enemies because there was no point fighting them. Like I'm literally about to like jump up this building. You're not going to be able to get to me because none of you guys can shoot. So I'm just going to stop engaging with all of the combat in this game, which is also annoying because the camera likes to focus on the enemies. So here I am just like running away while the camera's like turning around being like, "Hey, there's a guy back there. Don't you want to fight that little dude?" To which, no, I don't ever want to fight this little dude again. With that said, though, the traversal gameplay is where this game shines. It is all about surfing on the water from like landmass to landmass. And that combined with the double jump, you get like a super jump if you hold down A when you're in the water. Holding right trigger gives you a boost in the water. It feels so good to just surf around. And that's really cool. So it is this interesting little game where it's like, it's kind of mid the whole way through, but there's one element of it that they just like nailed really well. It feels nice. And then unfortunately, the world is a little barren. There's not a ton to do. So sometimes you're just like, all right, I guess I'm going to hold forward and right trigger for literally 5 minutes before I get to the next place.
That's brutal.
Because there's no fast travel. So it is such an interesting idea of like, if they made a Wave Tail 2, which I'm not even sure I want a Wave Tail 2 because there were so many things against it, but it's like they have such a like diamond in the rough here, but it's like it is deep. It is deep in the dirt. They'd have to like really dig, but it could be something very cool. Because you could see how fun it could be because when you do the traversal mechanics, and you're doing the double jumping and you're going down these like slides that just launch you. One of the ways they'll get you to try and traverse the water faster is there's just these launch pads and you can like connect them from one to one, and that's pretty fun. So yeah, I'm like so torn on this game. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if I recommend it. So, but
sure.
I don't know. Yeah, that's Wave Tail. A game I do recommend, which I'm very excited to talk about, is Melatonin.
Oh, thank God you said that. Okay. Yes. People will know why in a bit.
Melatonin is rhythm heaven.
Yes. Oh, yes. This game. I was actually
full stop, to the point where each world, the last stage on the world, is a combination song of all the levels.
That's great.
Earlier in this, it is just rhythm heaven. They just did rhythm heaven exactly as is, and the art style is so like nice and delightful. Like I can't recommend it enough. Look up a trailer for Melatonin. All the music is like kind of like chill lo-fi beats to like study to.
Yeah.
The music's great. The art style looks so nice. The stuff you're doing in the things are crazy. Like you're dreaming about food, so it's like burgers with eyeballs are just launching into your mouth, and you need to hit A in time with the music to like eat the burger. And then they'll do the cool thing of like, all right, now we're gonna put just a cloud in front of everything, and you need to make sure you are listening and you know when to like hold down A and release A. Like it is. They just made another Rhythm Heaven. Like it is almost they just stole Rhythm Heaven and made a new one of those, and that's what I needed.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear this. This was on the Wholesome Direct like a few months back, and I remember being like, "Oh, that's really cute. I know I'm gonna forget about that." So I'm glad you brought it up. Actually,
I saw it a demo station of it at the Day of the Devs a couple months back, and I didn't get a chance to play it. And then a code came into my email, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll give it a try now." And I did not know what I was getting into, and I was immediately just like utterly delighted. Works fantastic on Steam Deck, which
nice.
That was so great to see. Like Melatonin is extremely cool. It's $15. There's 5 worlds. I keep getting told in the email you could probably finish it in about 2 to 3 hours. Just for the savvy shopper out there, if you redeem the current free game on Epic, which is one of the like holiday games, you get a 25% off code for games $15 and up. It's on Epic for $15. So maybe if you want to get Melatonin for a bit cheaper.
It's also 10% off on Steam right now.
Or if you would like to spend more money than you have to, you could buy it on Steam. Yes.
But you have to buy another game, you said, to get that coupon.
No,
right?
it's free.
Oh, the coupon's free. Never mind.
If you're okay with clicking a few buttons, they will give you a 20% off code.
Never mind, then I misheard you.
It is also announced for Switch. They don't have a release date, but they said it's coming very, very soon. So
if
Switch is your platform of choice, maybe hold off because it's coming pretty soon here. Melatonin is very cool. I can't recommend Melatonin enough.
Nice.
And since we're talking about games with great audio, Paul, talk to me about High on Life.
Oh my God, dude. High on Life is the...
Oh God.
Okay. listen, I can handle the writing's terrible, but I can handle it. Like, some of it gets some laughs out of me. That they don't stop talking. There is an option to turn down the amount of chatter, and it doesn't matter. I turned that all the way down to off, and they still will not shut up ever. It's so annoying.
Okay, so let's do a quick bit of backstory for those who don't know. High on
Yes.
Life is by Squanch Games, which
It's
is
Justin
which is a real-
Roiland's company or whatever, yeah.
It's also a great name for a studio.
Sure,
Who
okay.
doesn't enjoy saying the word squanch?
Me, because then I have to talk
Really?
about High on Life.
Squanch. Squanch did the Rick and Morty VR game. They did Trover Saves the Universe.
Yeah.
So yes, it's Justin Roiland's thing. There are other comedians in here. I haven't gotten to any of them yet. I've only beaten the first boss. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I did another one directly after, which was way long. That first boss is very obviously the tutorial boss because it's very short to get to that boss. That boss is pretty easy. The next boss I did took like maybe an hour to get to alone, and like that's everything up to that other first boss, including the actual prologue and cutscenes and stuff, were about the same amount of time. So it definitely got longer.
Maybe like me, you're looking forward to the Tim Robinson weapon, because I'm a fan of Tim Robinson.
Yeah. I don't mind the weapons talking to you. It's really just that Justin Roiland can do two voices, and the more annoying one is the one that is always talking to you forever without stop ever. Ugh.
Yeah, it is definitely like, it's Morty. He's doing the Morty thing, and they're also doing the joke of the bit is we're just going to keep talking.
Yeah, that's the joke. So that's the thing, is that it's not like, oh, it's just like annoying writing or whatever. The bit is that it doesn't stop. So it's really annoying.
It's definitely, you're going to live and die by the dialogue, because, and I say that because even if in a hypothetical scenario you could turn all the talking off, I don't think this is a very good shooter. So
No, the shooting is terrible.
I don't think you would want to do that. If you're in a position where you're like, I need to turn it off and just focus on the shooting, you're playing a pretty poor game. Go do something else with your time. You deserve it.
So, yes, the shooting, when I stopped, got a little bit better because the gun I had unlocked or whatever, the new one, has like a charge shot, and it has a rapid fire that you can kind of like, it's almost like the Needler from Halo. You can pelt a bunch of enemies with like a crystal sort of thing, and then use a charge shot to like explode all of them.
What's the alt fire called? It's the something hole. It comes out of their something hole.
Well, it's different for each one, but yes.
Don't they each have a trick hole?
Well, I don't know if they're all called a trick hole, but definitely the main gun does.
Name choice. I do not like that name choice if it's trick hole.
They lean into it.
It's definitely trick hole.
Yeah, because they lean into it, saying some really bad things I'm not going to repeat here about playing with the trick hole or whatever, and yeah.
That sounds like Justin Roiland's humor, yeah.
So that humor is kind of funny in some regards. It's just that it doesn't stop, and it's punctuated by more annoying random bullshit in between.
Okay, you have to be honest. Has this game made you laugh?
It has. Specifically with, there's a kid that's bugging you, asking you to kill him.
Okay, I was actually going to say this exact thing.
And so, I mean, I guess, spoiler or not, I didn't kill him. You can, apparently.
I killed him.
Yeah, and I went up to his mom, and she's like, thank you for not killing him. He's really annoying. You probably could just kill him if you wanted to, or whatever. And I was like, okay, this is pretty funny. But
so if you kill him, you go up to the mom, and your mom's like, oh man, are you the one that killed my son? And then Gun's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, nah, it's okay. I kept telling him, you got to stop just jumping out at every single traveler and like calling them a dipshit. They're going to kill you one of these days.
Yeah.
She's like, he deserved it. Like he was 30 years old.
Okay. That's hilarious, actually. Yeah. No, that whole part was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I also liked it when you do kill him, the Gun's like, oh man, there goes our E for everyone rating. That was the one time that got me. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things that if I didn't have so many other games that I want to get to and finish, I might like keep playing it to like see how bad it gets, but I don't think I'm going to currently because I have too many things on my plate. But it's on Game
You're not
Pass
gonna
at
go back
least.
to it?
So
We'll also say this game joins the collection of games that have full movies in them.
it does, yeah.
It has 4 different movies in them, starting with Tammy and the T-Rex,
Yeah.
which, rest in peace, stars Paul Walker. And I have seen that movie, and that movie is ridiculous. And I understand for one of the movies that even the in-game like comedian voices recorded an entire commentary for it. So you can just watch the movie with their commentary if you want in the game. And I always appreciate when games put a whole movie in them.
Sure, yeah.
It's what a weird thing to do.
Yeah, what a weird game. What a weird game.
But yeah, that's High on Life. It's on Game Pass. I'm probably gonna still play some more of it to see.
It can't be that long. They kind of do the thing where they're like, here's a checklist of dudes you're gonna have to kill to get to the final boss, and there's like 8. So I'm gonna assume it's probably 8 to 10 hours.
How Long to Beat says main story 8, main and extra 10.5. Completionist is currently 15.
Yeah, okay, sure. They have like some hidden chests here and there as well, so I could see if you wanted to get everything, it was probably going to be a bit more. But the main thing seemed pretty short. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see.
That's all I've been playing.
All right. I've been trying to catch up with a bunch of stuff. I've been playing more Darktide. That game's still good. I don't know. Not much more to say about that. The Callisto Protocol came out, and I played through that.
All right, we haven't talked about this on the show.
No, because I played it, I think, immediately after the last time we recorded. Holy shit, what a game that is. So
it's so good?
It is okay. It's so unassumingly bland and mediocre that the fact that people were getting super upset about it is kind of funny to me. I get why they are, because it's a full price game and the way it runs is absolute garbage. The fact that like people had the like $5,000 plus computers and they couldn't run it without it stuttering because of how poorly it was optimized is like just super unacceptable and hilarious. And even more hilarious that the director for that game went on Twitter and said, oh yeah, it's running bad because there was a clerical error and we patched the wrong file or something, which like pissed people off even more. That was just a whole thing. The end of the day, they do some Dead Space, like dark fantasy type sci-fi stuff pretty okay, corridor shooter stuff. And the combat system, which is the other polarizing thing, is interesting, but also kind of boring.
Heard so many weird things about the combat system.
So the combat is very Punch-Out-ish,
like
if you can believe it.
Yeah, boxing.
Yeah, it's very Punch-Out-ish. What happens is when an enemy's attacking you, you get kind of locked in a one-on-one with them. Like the camera kind of pulls in a little bit, and like you're squaring up with them. The camera is definitely just focusing on them the whole time. And if you are holding left or right, you will automatically dodge their attack. You don't have to time it, which makes it a slug and kind of boring.
You have to go back and forth, right?
Yes, but that it's very rare. So what happens usually is you dodge the first one and then you combo them and then shoot them in the head, because that's also part of your combo. You can do like a left-right sort of thing with your melee, and then there is a mechanic where a crosshair will go up on them when they're like kind of stunned for a moment. You push the like trigger button and you will automatically shoot them, and that's kind of what you're going to do for the next like 10 hours. That's the combat. So it's kind of neat in some regards, but it is so bland, boring, and brain dead that it becomes just tedious by the end. And some bosses and whatever, like the final boss, you don't do that with at all. So which I find kind of funny, where they trained you to do this one mechanic, the one thing they do, and then the final boss is very much almost like a Dead Space boss where you have to like use environmental stuff to throw at him and like your kinesis thing and whatever. So yeah, I don't know. That combat I thought was kind of funny and interesting, and then I had to do it over and over again. And then when you get further and further in, more and more enemies are kind of grouping up on you. The other ones don't stop, even if you are in a one-on-one, so you get into the situation of like 3 dudes are running at you. You better be like shooting 1 or 2 of them to make sure that they don't break up or get into the one-on-one you're going to be stuck in with another dude, because they will just attack you and the camera will not focus on them, so you will just be getting hit from off camera over and over again. And like, yeah, it's just clunky and kind of inexcusable in a lot of ways and how it's made. Like, it feels like they rushed it.
I was kind of surprised how low the scores were because it was very hyped up. People were really excited for it.
Also, they do the Asura's Wrath thing, where the way it ends isn't an ending, and there is more story coming in a DLC, which will surely be the actual ending.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Also, you can play through that game on any difficulty, and then in the last part, you can run down a corridor, change the difficulty to the highest, and get the achievement for beating the game on the highest difficulty.
Yeah, I showed you that, and then I saw that you tried it after you did it, and it still worked.
It still worked. I reinstalled the game to try it because I forgot about it when I played through it.
Apparently, the PlayStation 5 version is the only good one.
Yeah.
Stable one, I should say.
Yeah, they did push a patch a couple days after it came out on PC, and it ran better, like way better. So it wasn't fully there, but I have also heard that the PS5 one is the one that they put the most time into. Mainly because I heard that Sony paid to help them with development, so they had their team help optimize it, which that makes sense why that version's better, because Sony made it better for their thing. Which is fine. Like, I have nothing against that. I just kind of wish that they had put some thought into the other versions, but whatever. No big deal.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they put some, just not enough.
Yeah. Well, apparently it was a clerical error because, I don't know, the wrong email went out or something and they patched I don't know what that guy was saying. It's such a weird excuse, but okay.
Yeah.
New World of Warcraft expansion came out. That thing was made for people with lives. I already got to the top level in about 3 to 4 hours. It was 3 podcast episodes to level up all the way through it, and I got a bunch of gear from just doing some PvP, so that's cool. I like that. Like, I was able to play that game, and I'm at a point now where I can jump in if they add more stuff that I'm interested in, but right now, like, I did the thing, and I'm done with that for now. And that thing's cool. New area, new skill, dragon riding, which is why it goes so fast, and it's kind of a fun way to do flying around. Yeah, that game's fine. Ragnarok needs to end, and I don't think there is an end to that game. Because it just, after about like 30 hours, I opened up a new area, and I'm just like, this area is so big. And I picked up like 8 more quests or side favors. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having a breakdown. This last weekend, I was home alone, so I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna put like 10 hours into this game and see if we can see credits. Not only did I not see credits, but I opened up a new map that I had never seen before and had a bunch of things fill my quest log. I'm kind of having a little bit of a crisis with that game in that I'm just finding it now that, like, it's just not as impressive to me as 2018 was, story-wise, and that's mainly because I hate every time we go to Atreus' story. I don't care about him at all, or what he's doing, and they do it quite a bit, so that's kind of a bummer.
I don't think I fully agree with that. I like some of the stuff going on with Atreus. I'm not as deep into it as you are, so you know that could change. Like, I enjoyed all the stuff with what was the girl who like tells him his prophecy and stuff?
Oh,
her name.
That was like where it started to go downhill for me. Like that part is good, and then it's just like, okay, I don't fucking care about like little shitty kids story in Neverland now. Like I need to just get on with. I think my problem is with a game called Ragnarok and how they built up what this game was going to be. It was never going to live up to what I wanted because it's still like Ragnarok hasn't happened. This is kind of the build up to it so far that I'm still in, and it's driving me fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, they're not going to call it God of War almost Ragnarok.
I know.
That doesn't
It
sell
sounds really bad,
copies.
but that's exactly what it is so far. The thing about that game, though, is that Odin is great. I love just sleazy car salesman, shitty Odin. Oh my god, it's so good. Every time Odin's on screen, I like that. Thor's great, too.
That just gave me this weird hypothetical of like, what if you just swapped Odin with the boat salesman guy from Monkey Island?
Oh my god, Stan.
It would be comparable. In the sub scenes, it would be comparable. And yes, Angry Boda is great. It's just after that. I can't talk about it without story stuff. I just want that game to kind of be done now because I feel like I'm done with it. Also, the end game stuff isn't as good as Valkyries. Valkyries were great, and I don't think their version of Valkyries in this game are good. Vampire Survivors came out on mobile. I played a little bit of that.
Did.
And by a little bit, I mean probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours here and there.
Wow.
So not a whole lot for Vampire Survivors, like timelines, but probably more than it deserves because it feels slow to me in a way that the actual game doesn't, which makes sense because...
Is it maybe just because you got used to playing on like hyper mode?
Yes, that's exactly what it is, and I just don't want to unlock a bunch of shit again.
That's my thing is like, I have Vampire Survivors on like 3 different platforms, and it's like I cross progression, or I'm just gonna stick with this one. Like I love that it's on mobile, but I can't go back to the beginning. Like
for sure,
I need my dudes. So
and just I guess to piggyback, just right before this, and while we were kind of starting up, I've been playing the DLC. That DLC is just more of that game, and it feels good. Nothing new to report there, obviously. I started Modern Warfare 2's campaign, and it is a bombastic action shooter, and that's fine. It's so different from the other things on my list that I've been playing that it's kind of nice to just...
It's kind of like High on Life.
Yeah, it's kind of like High on Life.
You know what's crazy to think? I heard the statistic this week that Modern Warfare 2 sold more copies than Elden Ring.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Probably.
Which sounds crazy to me because Elden Ring was so massive.
And Elden Ring had the whole year.
The whole year, exactly. Yeah, it had the whole year. Call of Duty was on like a downswing for the last couple, and then out of nowhere just surpasses it. That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. The thing I'm looking forward to is maybe trying out that raid. I want to see what that's all about. The 3-man raid that came out.
Okay.
I think yesterday.
Cool.
Talked about High on Life. The big thing this week has been Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which is the remaster, whatever, port of Crisis Core on everything. I never played the original Crisis Core because I didn't have a PSP, even though I know the story of what happens in it.
Oh, you never had a PSP?
I never had a PSP, no.
What about a PSP Go?
No.
Okay.
So it's been cool playing that, especially because people always said that like Crisis Core was cool, except the combat was a little janky, and this combat system like is flowing really nicely. So that I feel like I'm playing the good version of it for my first time through. I hope some of the story stuff changes because I know what happens to the characters, which is making some of it like a bummer because I really like Angeal, and that's all I'll say right now. But
I did play the PSP one. I don't remember a thing about that game, so I am looking forward to playing the Reunion. I'm curious if it's going to tie into how they're changing things with Final Fantasy VII Remaster.
Yeah,
because you would think based on the end of 7, that some stuff has to change, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that they probably
I mean,
are.
it is a prequel, so maybe it could stay completely the same, and the changes are happening afterward. That could happen. I don't even
Sure.
know. But, did you play the Intergrade, the
No.
the DLC? Okay.
No, I don't have a PS5, and I would have to buy it on PC and redo a bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was just PS5. All right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I guess like the thing I like about it, that why it's hitting me just right, is that
Zach is so dreamy.
Zach is very dreamy.
That's it. That's
true.
definitely it.
Yeah. It is still like a mobile game where there's a bunch of missions that are cut up into little parts where you go into an area, you do a thing, and then that's that, and you can save in between a lot or whatever, which is perfect for when I come home from work and I'm like, I have like 2 hours maximum that I can do some gaming. Do I want to jump into God of War, do absolutely no progress, and then feel like I'm a failure? Or do I want to jump in Crisis Core and do like 10 missions and be like, oh, hell yeah. Crisis Core has been great. I really am liking it quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to playing through more of that. You both have played it, I guess? I'm guessing?
I've played a little bit on stream, but I haven't played the remake. I've never beaten the full game. But I know what happens in it. I feel like everyone knows.
Don't know what happens in it. I know I put a handful of hours into it, but I don't remember a single thing that happens. So I definitely do want to play it, especially as someone who's like all caught up on remaster. But I'm looking at the calendar, and I just do not think I'm gonna be able to touch it before like Game of the Year. So it's like it's
fair.
high on my like to play list once I clear some stuff, but I got some big games ahead of me right now.
Fair. I bet that's probably good on the Steam Deck since, you know, it was made for a handheld mobile system.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people praise it on Steam Deck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool though. Hack and slash combat, primarily with like the emphasis on holding down a button to do materia on the fly. It
has the
neat.
roulette stuff, right? Wasn't that kind of the unique
It does
thing?
the DMV stuff or whatever, which is basically a roulette that gives you like added bonuses, and also the way you do summons and the limit breaks and stuff. Yeah, it's weird. It's basically just a visual representation of RNG in the top corner, but it's kind of fun. I guess like the knock I have against it is that in the combat, doing materia stuff feels kind of bad sometimes because it can take a while to cast a good materia spell or whatever, and then the enemy can literally just like take 2 steps to the side and then you wasted all of that. Yeah, I don't know. That's just standard problems with that. That's all I've been playing though.
All right, let's do some news.
Yes.
Hey, the Game Awards happened.
Yeah, do you want to go through the winners and our predictions?
Yeah.
Okay. Most anticipated, we all said Tears of the Kingdom. We were right. Best adaptation, you two said Sonic. I said Arcane. I was right with Arcane. Best debut indie, we all said Vampire Survivors. We were all wrong. Stray won that for some reason.
I don't think Vampire Survivors won anything, right?
They did not. Nope. Content Creator of the Year, you two said Nibelian. I said Ludwig. I was correct. Best multiplayer, you two said Call of Duty. I said Overwatch. We were all wrong because it was Splatoon 3 was the best multiplayer of the year.
Wow.
Weird. Crazy. Best sports / racing, Sean was right with Gran Turismo. We said FIFA 23. We were wrong.
Still surprised by that one with Gran Turismo.
Totally. Yeah, I don't get that at all, but there you go. Best sim / strategy, Sean said Victoria 3. We said Mario and Rabbids. We were correct. Best family, we all said Splatoon. We were wrong. It was Kirby. Best fighting.
Also surprised by that.
Yep.
Kirby's good.
Best fighting, we all said Multiverses, and we were correct. Best role-playing, all said Elden Ring. We were correct. Best action adventure, we all said God of War Ragnarok. We were correct. Best action game, Sean said Neon White. I said Sifu. John was correct with Bayonetta 3. And in retrospect, that makes sense because the other two were never going to win. Best VR.
My heart Neon White won.
Best VR / AR. We all said Among Us VR, but it was Moss Book 2, so good for them. That was cool.
Yeah.
Innovation and accessibility. We said Ragnarok. Ragnarok 1. Best community support. Sean said Fortnite, but he was incorrect. It was Final Fantasy 14, which we both said.
Oh man, there was a girl sitting behind me, a little to the side, so not directly behind me, because that was Victor Lucas of Electric Playground fame.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus.
She worked for some esports website. I didn't hear it fully. Anytime, anytime, anything Final Fantasy was even hinted
Uh-huh.
at being mentioned, if the idea that someone might say Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
she would shriek.
Cool.
Oh my god, it was awful. Holy smokes, it was awful.
Best mobile game. John was correct with Marvel Snap. We said the other ones, Genshin and Tower of Fantasy. We were wrong. Best indie. We were all wrong. Sean and I said Tunic. John said Cult of the Lamb. Stray won that one as well for
I
some
gotta
reason.
say, man, Tunic got nothing, which is a bummer.
That sucks, yeah. Feels bad. Best ongoing. Final Fantasy XIV won it again. So John was right there. We both said Fortnite. Games of Impact. John was right with Dusk Falls. Citizen Sleeper was probably never going to win it, but it won in my heart, I guess.
My heart, yep.
Best performance. We all said Christopher Judge. We were correct. Best audio design. We all said Elden Ring. We were wrong because apparently God of War Ragnarok has great audio design, which I disagree with, but whatever. Best scores and music. God of War won as well, which is bullshit because we all said Metal Hellsinger and we were correct. Best art direction. You two said Elden Ring. I said God of War, and Elden Ring won. Best narrative. We all said God of War. It won. Best game direction. We all said Elden Ring. It won. Game of the year. We all said Elden Ring, and it won. Sean had 11 total right. I had 13 total right, and John had 16 total right.
Damn, I did way better than I thought.
Nice.
No.
We should talk about some of the announcements. We don't have to go through every single one, but maybe we'll just if something kind of jumps out at you that you're interested in, chime up. I want to start with this first one: Dead Cells Return to Castlevania.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I missed this, so I have no idea what this is. Was this just more Dead Cells but with Castlevania characters, or what is this?
It's hard to say because they didn't show any gameplay. It was all just like an animated trailer, but Alucard and like
Richter.
Victor was there. Dracula's all obviously there, and it makes it sound like they're going to the castle to fight Dracula, and they're just making a Castlevania level. Which this is great. Like Dead Cells pretty much came from Castlevania, like original Castlevania, and the idea of going back, like this just seems perfect and so cool.
So from what I can see, yeah, it has like this an image here of the skeleton throwing the bone. So like Castlevania enemies looks like some like settings or whatever. Seems like a boss fight with death here in a picture. This looks sweet. I'm in.
My assumption is it's going to be obviously a run based. It'll be a roguelite because that's what Dead Cells is.
Yeah.
They will have multiple stages that are all castle themed. But it'll be multiple levels with different bosses at the end, with Dracula being the final boss. That's my guess.
Yeah.
And maybe the castle changes, like the levels change because the other one was procedurally generated. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about the next one too. That Hellboy game looks pretty sweet. I'm interested in. I like that art style translates good to that
Art style. Yeah, that's kind of the big one there. I'm gonna skip this next one and to go to Hades 2.
Yeah, this is huge.
This is pretty great. See, hearing like the next game from Supergiant, like, all right, here's immediately my money, and then Hades 2, absolutely, like, what a slam dunk. I'm sure we're all extremely excited.
Yep.
I had to laugh though. 2 or 3 days before the Game Awards on stream, someone asked like, "Hey, do you think they're ever going to make a Hades 2?" And I specifically said out loud, "No, they don't do sequels," and I kind of like that they don't. I like that they keep making new stuff, and then
I'm with you.
Then they made Hades 2, so it's just like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
This is,
But I like
and
Hades, so
I have no idea. This is just kind of my impression from the studio. That you're right, they don't make sequels. So I feel like for them to make a sequel, I bet they have a pretty good reason to do that. That is not
they
just,
put it
well,
out on FAQ. They wrote an FAQ on this. Let me
did
find
they?
it.
Oh, did they?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that too.
They've also went out and said, like, at the moment we have nothing to announce along besides with No Clip in terms of another documentary series. But here's hoping, because I loved watching that series.
Yeah,
They made a whole FAQ on the game, and one of the questions was, "You've never made a sequel before. Why now?" And they say the original Hades is our most beloved game and one that we loved building together as a team, especially since it drew so much inspiration from classical Greek mythology. We always imagined the possibility of new stories in its world, but that in and of itself wasn't enough for us. With each of our projects over the years, we aim to take on a new challenge that stretched our team's creativity and taught us more about how to make games well together. One such challenge we've long considered was to try and make a sequel that could somehow recapture the sense of wonder and delight of its predecessor. Some of our all-time favorite games achieved this. The question is, can we? Hades 2, with its new perspective on a shadowy and alluring aspect of Greek myth, is our opportunity to find out. We get to keep building on foundational ideas that have captivated us since Supergiant's early days, while expanding the world of Hades in a variety of ways that we find very exciting and hope you will too. And there's a bunch of other stuff here, like they started working on it in 2021. They explain who the protagonist is. They explain that's going to be another early access game, et cetera, et cetera.
I said that. I would take a sequel to any of Supergiant's games.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they are one of the most consistent developers out there as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Hades 2, absolutely. Like, I'll play more of that.
I
you
mean,
talked
whatever.
about the developing hell no clip thing, right? Because they also just talk about that too.
Yeah.
And like, whatever, that Hades did well for them. I'm sure they were like, oh, that made us a bunch of money. We should make more money. And why not? Hades is great. Give me more of that.
Yeah. I'll shout out Judas. That's the next game coming from Ken Levine. This just looks like a BioShock clone, but that's okay. I like BioShock.
Yep.
And I'm just very curious, like, what has Ken Levine been up to? They keep talking about, like, we're focused on, like, changing how narrative's done. Narrative. We got new ways of doing narrative in games. So I'm just kind of curious what that means and what he's come up with. And it was a cool looking trailer.
What do you two, I guess specifically John, think about Bayonetta Origins, the like isometric top-down thing?
I'm curious about it. It looks
Kinda
cute.
weird,
It looks
right?
like it'll be a fun game, but like at the same time, it's just like this is a weird left field announcement.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Is this just me being cynical, or do you think they came up with a game and then slapped Bayonetta on it?
That's what I'm worried about, actually. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see.
I could see that. I could see more so something like that.
I mean, I hope it's good, but it is like, it's almost weird to call it Bayonetta because it's like, I don't know, a point and click adventure game almost.
It looks like more of a Hades style, like top down action game, but like you're controlling a puppet essentially.
I did not get the same kind of speed, but maybe
not the speed of Hades. I just meant more like that kind of like action top down action game.
Definitely like the isometric view and whatnot. Almost like a puzzle platformer. There definitely is some combat. Yeah. Who knows? Weird. I think I was hearing on another podcast that there was an interview recently with someone at Platinum, and they said we've envisioned Bayonetta as 9 games, which sounds like so much, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We saw some Earthblade.
That's what I was about to shout out.
Yeah.
Earthblade, from the developers behind Celeste. This looks like a Metroidvania game. Also coming 2024, which that might have been the first time I've heard that one.
Yeah. This is the one that, remember when they announced that they're like, we're going to show you an image or whatever. Did like a
vibe check?
Yeah, the vibe check. That's right. It's cool to see actual gameplay too. Like, it's not just some weird trailer or something. It looks fun. I'm interested in it.
Celeste was so good. Like, I'm on board. Let me show me what you got next. Let's go. Like, you have earned that from me for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
I mean, this was known for a while, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it was kind of like weirdly rumored.
Well, Norman Reedus straight up said it existed.
Yeah.
Said the next one, which made a lot of questions about what are you talking about, Norman Reedus, and how much do you actually know about things?
And Hideo posted a silhouette of Elle Fanning that like everybody immediately online was like, oh, it's this picture right here. Like, no, we're the internet. Yeah. We know it's this one right here.
He also said something like, in the pandemic, he started writing this in like 2020 and the pandemic hit, so he rewrote the whole thing. He made a joke like, I didn't want to predict the future again, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't, sure. Along with, some tangential news. Today, they announced a Death Stranding movie.
Sure.
It's coming.
Not? Okay.
Which, yeah, I guess, okay.
That's the thing that Hideo wants to make more than games anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
Let's see, what was next? My next one is the Horizon DLC.
Oh, my next one is Baldur's Gate, because I've been waiting for that game forever, but, like, they didn't really... That game is still coming, is the news, and they gave the date of next year in August.
August.
Yeah.
So DLC, they have the expansion coming for Forbidden West, which makes sense. They did a big expansion in the first one, Zero Dawn. I still need to finish Forbidden West. I have a lot of Sony games I need to finish.
Yeah. Diablo 4 got a date of June 6th as well, which I've been waiting for. The date. So that's good.
Some of these I don't even remember seeing them. Yeah. Whatever Blue Protocol has completely left my head. I don't even remember why.
That was the action RPG MMO that Bandai Namco is doing with Amazon.
It's Amazon's Genshin, by the looks of it.
Okay. All right. Remnant from Ashes is getting a sequel?
Yeah, that game is so but I mean, if they take some of the cool stuff that the first one did and like refix some of it, like Remnant 2 could be good. So
apparently this one features 3-person co-op. Let's go.
Okay, that's cool. That's a good change. Yeah.
Hey, Remnant from Ashes, I like that game a lot. It has one of the worst final bosses I've ever seen.
That final boss is the worst thing in video games. Yeah, absolute cancer. I hate it.
We have to talk about Transformers Reactivate, because that trailer was wild. They do such a good tease of like, I have no idea what I'm watching. This is just some people trying to like get a robot working, and then and they show no Transformers at all in this, and then just the logo comes up, and then it was funny because everyone in the crowd was just like, I don't know, whatever, okay, game trailer, what? And then it was like, what?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought Titanfall something, and like my heart broke when I was like, oh, never mind, it's a cash grab. Okay, we'll see.
There's something about this, like, it's, yes, you say there's a Transformers video game, I'm like, snooze, I don't care. Like, I've seen this before. But the idea that, like, the tone of this trailer definitely has me a bit more intrigued, because that was a cool reveal.
Also, I was going to say, a lot of the Transformers games, especially since, like, PS2 era onwards, have been good.
They're okay. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, good to great. So,
it's just like, I don't care about them is the thing.
I mean, I don't care about Transformers, but like if it's a good game, I'm interested because I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, robots.
Sure.
Also, this is Splash Damage. That's a good developer behind there. So like, okay, maybe I'll play a Transformers game.
Sure. So Banishers: Ghost of New Eden. I kind of don't care about this trailer, but this is the thing that like. We were talking, Don't Nod's apparently gonna show a new thing.
You're right, this is Don't Nod. Okay, I'm glad you brought it up because I was about to skip this.
It's Don't Nod.
Someone behind in the crowd was definitely like, this does not look like a Don't Nod game.
Yeah. From the little bit they showed, it kind of looks like The Witcher. Which, okay. Sure, that gameplay style.
The little blurb here rightfully is saying follow up to 2018's Vampire, which I guess kind of makes sense because that was like another Don't Nod game that wasn't Life is Strange.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, this game, like, they didn't show what any of this is. I have no idea what the gameplay of this is, but like, cool tone, cool idea, I guess.
They showed like 5 seconds at the end, but yeah, it's nothing. Of like a skeleton attacking and then them attacking it.
I'm seeing that right now. Yeah, so some kind of character action game, end of 2023. It says, yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yep.
Crime Boss. This was such a weird reveal.
Oh yeah, this one.
It's
So
Michael Madsen,
Michael Madsen, Chuck Norris, Danny
yeah.
Trejo.
Michael Rooker, Vanilla Ice,
Vanilla Ice, yeah.
Annie Glover. The trailer's a pretty good one of just like, yeah, this person's there, this person's there. Like it's almost like
But, like there's like no real gameplay in it. Like they explained nothing.
Yeah, just a bunch
It
of
was weird. They had Michael Madsen come out on stage with I think 2 of the actors from Payday 2, because one of them was Chains, so I just couldn't tell who the other one was.
I did not know who those people were. I can tell you though that Danny Glover plays a character named Gloves.
Yep. True.
And Chuck Norris does a roundhouse kick, so exactly what you expect.
Definitely kind of seems, yeah, Vanilla Ice definitely got a chuckle from the crowd, I can tell you that.
Oh, right. Vanilla Ice's name is Helio. It's ice in Spanish, which is hilarious.
Oh, okay. All right, good to know. Speaking of actors in games, right after this, Cyberpunk, Idris Elba, that was a cool reveal.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
It definitely made me think like, no, I keep hearing so many good things about Cyberpunk. Maybe I should jump back in when this comes out. Maybe it's fixed. Maybe I'll like it more.
Do you have the like PS5 version or whatever?
The Xbox version, and I did beat that game. I didn't do much of the side quests. I just kind of mainlined it.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I played through the main story of that game.
Gotcha.
All right, Armored Core 6.
Yeah, this is fucking awesome.
I can tell you this got the biggest cheer from the crowd.
This is awesome. Yeah, this is exciting.
Meanwhile, most of my friends were like, "What's Armored Core?"
That's fair.
I understand they're not making it a Souls-like though. They're definitely making it an Armored Core sequel.
Yeah, it is funny that they know what they're doing. They used a lot of Souls verbiage, like about like fires and stuff like that in it.
Fires of Rubicon.
It's called Fires of Rubicon.
Title for sure.
I'm glad that it's a sequel as well. Like I was really sure that they would just do an Armored Core like reboot or something. So it's kind of cool that they're just keeping going. I guess.
I think I tried one of the Armored Core games and hated it, but I don't fully remember.
That's fair.
Some mech game on the 360.
I think it's when you worked at the store you got Armored Core 4, because that would have been the one you would have had the best chance to play on 360. I think it was that or 4 Answer. I'm trying to remember which one was on 360.
Maybe I don't know because I don't own it. So the store.
Yeah, it was Armored Core 4. I recognize this box cover.
Okay, just that to me, it's like how would I have gotten that copy unless I like borrowed it off of somebody? So I'm wondering.
I'm pretty sure you borrowed it from the store.
I don't think so because we weren't allowed to do that. I never.
Yeah, it didn't stop most of us. Let's be real.
Well, I didn't. Well, thanks for telling me. You're telling me that now.
Because I haven't worked there in over a decade.
Oh my god, the Armored Core 5 was 10 years ago. Over 10.
It's been over a decade since the last Armored Core game.
How has it been that long? Okay.
It's because Souls were making them shit tons of money.
True. Yeah.
I mean, and after Elden Ring, they can do whatever they want.
Yes.
Which is nice, because that's what From Software used to do. I looked at their list of games they used to make before the Souls games, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know half of these were them.
Yeah, true. Yeah. A lot of good stuff.
Isn't Ninja Blade them?
Yes, it is. Yep.
The Atogi games, The Adventures of Cookie and Cream, the Kingsfield games.
Yeah, that's right. I knew the Kingsfield ones. We got another trailer for Final Fantasy 16. I think this game just looks so cool.
I'm stoked for it for sure.
It's pretty hard for me to be like, I'm gonna play a big RPG because I already have so many other ones I want to get back to. But Final Fantasy 16 just looks so cool.
Yep.
And that girl would not stop shrieking during this trailer.
I was wondering.
The real MVP.
All right, it was exciting. Did you guys enjoy watching it?
Yeah, I had fun.
John?
Oh, the Game Awards, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not win a Steam Deck, although one of my friends did today.
Nice.
Today they did they were like, we just gave away another 171 because we like doing the first one, and one of my friends actually got on the roll today.
Nice. I saw like the screenshot of like MILF Hunter won a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
There were some really funny names that won Steam Decks. Yeah.
All right, let's do a little bit more news here. Xbox has finally said in 2023 they're doing $70 games.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it makes sense, and they let Sony take all the bad publicity for it, and they can just come in and be like, "Yeah, we'll do it too." And then our response is basically, "Yeah, makes sense."
Yep.
Expected.
Yep.
A couple things happened with Xbox last week. One, the FTC is now suing them over the Activision merger, so we'll see if that causes any ripples large enough to throw it off case. And then at the same time, and this is just a weird one, Microsoft came out and said that they have entered an agreement to put Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms and Steam for the next 10 years. To which I feel like the general consensus is, okay, why? What does this have to do with anything?
I mean, this also could just be them showing they're not gonna just lock it up and create a monopoly.
Right, I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing. But who is sitting there being like, "You guys aren't putting it on Switch either. We haven't had a Call of Duty since Ghosts
there are
on the
people
Wii
who
U."
still play Modern Warfare 2 on the Wii. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is anyone wanting to play it on the Switch?
People that only
I'm sure
own
some
one.
are.
Own the Switch.
Yeah, or for
This
single player. I don't know about
watered down,
multiplayer.
ugly-looking version. That's what they got every year on the Nintendo platforms, which is these like extremely inferior versions of Call of Duty. And then it was funny. Gabe Newell wrote like a response about the Steam one that was basically like in nicer and more professional words, like, "Hey, that's okay. I mean, we don't care if you do it, but you're welcome to. We never said you couldn't."
Yep.
So that was just kind of funny to see. On a more depressing note is the Fuser servers are getting shut down. In fact, a lot of Harmonix stuff is getting shut down. Not Rock Band 4. I saw that those are still going to have online play, but Rock Band 1 to 3, none of that's online is going to work anymore. Fuser is getting delisted as of December 19th.
4 days.
I think
from now. Yeah.
I think a bunch of the DLC is getting just set to free. I don't know if that includes the music because there's like licensing agreements there, but I know that they're setting a bunch of their DLC for free. So if you have Fuser on anything, go download whatever you can now because it's getting delisted shortly.
I really wish they could catch a freaking break.
Yeah.
I mean, they got bought by Epic, so theoretically they're safe from closing down now.
Yeah, but it feels like every time they make something, it either like hits big and then just suddenly just dies, or like it just doesn't strike the way it did with Rock Band.
Yeah.
Or Guitar Hero.
Rock Band was quite the thing. I mean,
like I love
Fuser was
Drop
cool.
Mix. Drop Mix is great, but it's such a heavy buy-in.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they made Fuser, because Fuser is Drop Mix. And Fuser was cool. I liked Fuser.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about a Toe Jam and Earl movie in the works from Amazon and Steph Curry?
What? Wait,
Okay.
what?
Yeah. This is just weird.
Steph Curry,
Steph
I guess,
Curry's
has
the weird part.
He just has like a media production house, I guess. So it's not like he's gonna star in it. I mean, he could, but that's not part of this reporting. He's just gonna be kind of producing it through his studio. But anyways, a Toe Jam and Earl movie.
Could have a cool soundtrack.
Hopefully.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does this happen? Yes or no?
Toe Jam and Earl?
Apparently the Tetris movie got like some actual thing revealed in the past week. So at this point, yes.
I'm gonna say a Toe Jam and Earl movie never happens.
That's probably safe, honestly. I don't know.
Here's this. What happens first? Toe Jam and Earl movie, Death Stranding movie.
Oh, Death Stranding over Toe Jam and Earl.
I mean, we're still waiting for a Metal Gear Solid movie.
I'd say Toe Jam and Earl happens first.
You think? Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's probably just going to be some CG movie. Just some like weird ass cartoon.
Is it a CG movie or is it like Sonic style where they're in like Earth now with live action people?
I think it's gonna be like the Sonic cartoon that just came out, Sonic Prime. It's gonna be just a CG series, something like that.
Oh, sure.
I read a headline that Sonic Prime show aired early in Roblox.
Yes. Because Roblox has a Sonic simulation game or whatever it's called, Sonic Speed Simulator, and that's like one of the most popular Roblox games.
Huh. All right.
So they built a theater and you could watch the first episode in it or something like that.
What'll they think of next?
And I think there was also a protest inside Roblox because like the developers weren't getting paid fairly. So like there was a whole like Sonic protest related to Roblox. It was
There's
really
a Sonic
weird.
protest every week on the internet.
True.
And
I'm about to throw one
I'm-
after this podcast.
And I'm running each one of them.
I knew it. I always knew it in my heart of hearts.
Speaking of just like, this made me think of Fortnite. So I played the most recent like chapter reset of Fortnite.
Yeah.
It was like 2 weekends ago. My friend was really into Fortnite, so they're like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of the big thing?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll finally like play one of these." I thought it sucked, and apparently everyone thought this was like the worst one.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So the one that I end up playing sucks.
That sucks. Because I can attest that some of those events are fucking awesome.
I hear the cool things, so I was like, sure, I'll finally give it a chance. And it was this dumb collectathon. It lasted
yeah.
forever.
Bummer.
They're
That
like,
sucks.
oh, you finished collecting 30 orbs? Have you tried collecting 40 orbs?
Yeah.
And it just kept going. I think I ended up getting like 65 orbs. And then it was just like, that's the end. Oh man, it was so dumb. All right, let's do some questions. updownperspective@gmail.com is the email address, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. Matthew writes, you're going about your normal day when an alert appears saying, teams have been scrambled. What are you going to check?
I guess.
The news?
You're going to
Yeah.
go to your TV and turn the news on? Is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna load up the internet and just whatever the top Google result is.
Yeah, like probably Twitter or something.
Twitter. I'm probably searching.
Yeah.
I'm catching up on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's unsettling in a weird way.
I guess it also kind of depends where this message appeared on.
Sure.
Like I'm
Like
kind
a
of
phone,
thinking
like an Amber Alert on your
that's
phone.
what I'm saying. Is that I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's Amber Alert style on your phone, and then I'm immediately opening Twitter and scrolling, and then maybe doing a Google search for teams have been scrambled.
Yeah. Yep. Dead writes, Sean, out of all the Kit Kats you tried, what is your favorite?
Peach.
Cool.
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
I had it somewhat recently, so that was a good one.
Hebrew Lantern writes, what do you consider a retro console? Anything Wii and backwards in my mind
Yep.
now is a retro console.
I'm with you.
So it's like 360s retro, right?
Yeah, 360 back.
Does that mean 2 generations back?
I am still of the... Yeah, I'll accept that. I'm still of the 2 generations prior is retro and back.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Because that's what 360 or when did the current gen or like when did the previous gen start? That was like 2012, right? 2013?
2013 it was.
So we're
Wow.
talking a decade at this point
Yeah.
for Xbox One and PS4.
And then the Switch was a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's right. It
What about the 3DS? Handheld's always weird because they're like a weird half step on those.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
consider DS retro, 3DS I kind of don't. Like didn't they sell like 3DS games like even last year? Like, when did Persona Q2 come out? That was like the last one I can remember that was big on 3DS.
I couldn't tell you when the last 3DS
That
came,
also,
but
the
I mean,
pandemic also might have screwed up that sense of time. So
I don't know when, because I have a launch 3DS. When I think of the 3DS, I think it's retro because it's so clunky. But they definitely made nicer ones, but I just don't have any like nostalgia for those ones because I didn't have it in my hands.
Yeah.
It's also weird saying like the DS is retro, but the 3DS aren't because the form factors are so similar. They kind of blend together for me.
no, that's fair.
What about you, Paul? Handhelds. What's a retro one? What's the newest retro?
The new. Yeah,
The
3DS
Vita
and
retro.
Vita are probably where I go for retro and everything behind. Yeah.
I think I would say the 3DS is retro. I think I would
I
say
think
it.
so, yeah.
Even though it's probably not that old. Wii is just such a like staple.
Yeah. Weird.
Feels gross though.
Yeah, I guess 3DS was
Yeah,
like
it does.
2012, 2013. So
Yeah, the 3DS launched like when I just went to college, so that would have been 2010-ish. It should have come out, or 2011. That's when it launched. DGC Kenny, how would you turn Rock Band into a movie? That's the question.
what's that movie Jack Black's in?
Yeah,
School of
School
Rock.
of Rock. Yeah. I could see that.
I feel like it wouldn't like it would just be someone wanting to make a band and then getting big. Like it's just the
Yeah.
story mode from Rock
Yeah.
Band. There's no way you're going to incorporate a track like coming
Just-
towards the character. Like it's just
Almost Famous again, basically, or something. But like from
that was the movie I was thinking was Almost Famous. I don't know why I thought Jack Black was in that because I think I got confused with Orange County or something like that.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Almost Famous is
okay.
what I was thinking of. And School of Rock also works, obviously.
I don't think there's any like cool answer about this really. Like the story modes are just like completely exactly what you think. They're gonna play in a garage and then you're gonna play at a bigger venue and then a bigger venue and then you're the top of the world.
Phantom Aegis writes, Ahoy TDP crew. What are your favorite Latin American cuisines?
Oh, man.
Latin American? Like just a quesadilla, probably.
Okay.
Tacos.
It's hard.
Tacos and burritos.
Sure.
Yeah, burrito is probably my go-to. What's the taco where it's like fried again? Quesadilla? Is that what it's called?
Oh, shoot. I think.
Those are also extremely tasty. I'm gonna go burrito. Burrito's super good. I'm gonna say burrito is Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex? Sure. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay, well.
Like, okay, I guess if we're going like, I like a good mole sauce quite a bit. Pupusas are delicious, or they can be. I'm trying to remember what the cactus and the red sauce is called right now.
Not a big fan of cactus.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. Tamales are always good. Usually always good. Like when you say Latin American, I just think of stuff you would get like Tex-Mex. I think of Taco Bell, so that's kind of where my mind went.
Does ceviche count? Like that's I had that in Peru. I know it's Peruvian. Is that Latin American?
Peruvian? Sure.
Is Peru Latin American? I don't know.
Oh, they're all the same.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that. People are saying yes, it is. I know I brought it up. I'm not a huge ceviche fan actually, but I will eat it, but I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Amazing.
All right. This one's a big one. From Chris Masuku.
Oh, yeah.
How well do you know your game series? I'd like for you three to play a little quiz. I call it Mega Man or Metal Gear. What series does this name originate from? Bonus points if you get at least one game they're in, too. I think I know most of these, so maybe I'm the one who should read these out.
Okay,
And see
sure.
how Paul and Sean do.
Sure.
Okay. I think I'll do okay.
I also can't open this because this is on the Discord. And
Gotcha.
I'm doing video right now.
All right. Number 1, Psycho Mantis. Mega Man or Metal Gear?
Metal Gear Solid 1, or Twin Snakes. Either one.
I'm just going to say the series. There's no way I'll get the Mega Man game ones.
Yeah, so, Sean, what are you saying?
Metal Gear.
Yep, you're both correct. Launch Octopus.
Mega Man X.
Okay, I feel like
I think Sean should respond first.
I should go first. I was going to say Mega Man, though, because that sounds, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, that's Mega Man X.
Because it sounds ridiculous.
Snake Man.
Okay, now, is this just a fun name for Snake?
No. This is...
I'm gonna say Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mega Man 3. Yeah.
Decoy Octopus.
I actually have no idea. Metal Gear?
Yes, it is Metal Gear.
Yep.
Metal Gear 2? Solid 2, rather?
No, this is Metal Gear Solid.
Is it Solid? Okay. Yeah, okay, he's the one that is
I have like very limited Metal Gear, so it's like I can tell you it's not in 2, I can tell you it's not in 3.
No, he's the one that acts as the DARPA chief when in the cell. Yeah. Okay.
That's him. Screaming Mantis.
This has to be Metal Gear. There's no way this is in Mega Man, right?
Screaming Mantis. I think is Metal Gear.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid 4, the girl who actually takes over Psycho Mantis' powers.
Yeah, okay.
This is where Vibration is back eventually comes from. All right. This one's going to take a second to say. Deathtanz Mantisk. DeathTanzMantisk.
Metal Gear?
This is not Metal Gear. This is Mega Man, but I don't remember which one. It sounds so familiar.
Deathtanz Mantisk is Mega Man 03.
Oh,
Sean, did you say that you went? Yeah, did you go for Metal Gear?
I said Metal Gear.
Yeah, all right. So went for Paul.
That's a good one to put there, especially where they put it, because Mantis is right in the name.
Yeah. God, I just played those games like a year ago too. Fuck.
Number 7, General.
This feels like it's cheating. General.
This isn't cheating.
Yep, this is just Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Mega Man or Metal Gear. Yeah, it's just named General. Man.
This is X4.
This is X4. Yeah, that doesn't help that I also just said Mega Man by accident.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Habitually just said it. Number 8, Serpent.
Mega Man.
The problem is I don't remember this in either. So now I got a metagame. What does it sound like?
Now you're on my level. Welcome to my level.
Now I got a metagame. What does it sound like it's more in? I'm going to say Mega Man because I'm pretty familiar with Metal Gear stuff.
Sean, which one did you say?
I said Mega Man.
It is Mega Man. Serpent is from Mega Man ZX. He's the main antagonist.
Oh, I don't think I played it. Okay.
Number 9, Running Man.
The great
Seems like a trap. Metal Gear.
Yes, this is Metal Gear.
Yes, this is Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake. He's just a man who runs a lot.
This is in Metal Gear Solid 2?
No.
This is Metal Gear 2, the
Metal
original.
Gear 2, okay. All right.
Dark Mantis.
Metal Gear.
No, this is definitely one of the Mega Mans. It's one of the X's.
Paul is correct.
6?
Mega Man X8.
8. Okay.
It is not fair that they both have Mantis.
They like Mantis a lot.
Okay,
right,
this next one is a trick question. This is Monster Hunter.
Right.
Rathalos.
Yeah, if it's Monster Hunter, it's a Capcom property. I'm going to assume it's a Mega Man game that I haven't played.
Which one you both going with?
I guess by that I'm gonna say Mega Man.
You're both saying Mega Man? You're both wrong!
Okay.
Metal Gear Peace Walker!
Oh, I never played it. I didn't have a PSP.
Peace Walker had a bonus mission where you fought a Rathalos. It was a sponsored segment for that. So it was a crossover there.
Monster Hunter was huge on the PSP.
Yeah. So that was a trick question. That's actually Metal Gear.
Wow.
Number 12, Pyro Bison.
Oh man, Metal Gear.
I think he's right. I
Street
think it is a
Fighter.
Metal Gear.
Yep, Metal Gear Ghost Babel, the Game Boy version of Metal Gear
Oh my
Solid.
god, what a
Game Boy Metal
fucking
Gear, yeah.
poll. Okay.
D-Rex.
Metal Gear.
D-Rex? Oh, no, this is one of the mini bosses in Mega Man X. At the Wily Castle sections, isn't it?
Which one did you go with, Sean?
Metal Gear. I said.
Paul is correct. It is the end of stage boss of Sigma 3 in Mega Man X1.
If there's
Isn't
one
this like the
game I
dog
know,
or the
it's
horses?
X.
What's the dog or horse's name in 5? Metal
Nope,
Gear.
it is this thing. Hang on.
No, you're thinking
Here's my
of D-Horse or D-Dog or whatever.
That's what D-Rex is. There.
Yeah, that's D-Rex right there.
It's the weird two-piece boss
this
fight
is,
in Mega
this
Man X.
is the dog from Phantom Pain.
Oh yeah, that's
there
totally
he
him
is.
right
Yep.
there.
Oh man,
Number
what a good poll.
Number 14, Scarface.
What?
This could be anything. Oh my gosh. Scarface. Which one would... Metal Gear.
I'm gonna guess Metal Gear as well, I guess. I don't recognize it. Uh-oh, he's
You're
laughing.
both wrong. It's Mega
Okay.
Man.
Which
Scarface is a secondary antagonist in Mega Man X Command Mission, the RPG.
one? I never played Command Mission. Okay, fair.
And the last one, Hot Cold Man.
Okay, this is definitely Metal Gear, but I don't know which one, because it's not popping up in my head. This is a meme, though.
I had no idea which one I was about to say, but Paul blurted
Yeah.
that out, so I'll say Metal Gear.
This is definitely
Yep.
Metal Gear something.
Peace Walker.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
I've
yeah,
seen
I
this
didn't
meme
play
before.
Barely played those ones.
All right, so Paul only got one wrong, and Sean missed 4.
Honestly, I did better than I expected since I was guessing on pretty much all of them.
No, you did really
Yeah.
good, actually. These were
Some
hard.
of these were really sneaky. Some of
Holy
these were
crap.
really hard.
Yeah, some of these were just downright rude and offensive in their complexity.
Serpent was sneaky, and and Death Tan's Mantis was also really believable.
D-Rex is actually... So, if I didn't know X so well, D-Rex would have thrown me because of the, like, D-Horse and D-Dog or whatever from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question from Rasterman. What's a game where adding a component of luck would improve it, and one where it would come as a hindrance?
None of them and all of them.
Yes, agreed. I don't love
None of
luck.
them.
I feel like I
No
have a
game
literal
could be better with
channel
luck.
showing how much I hate luck. So, call it the Runaway Guys.
Okay, fair enough.
Isn't like... Wait, you like Mario Party? What are you talking about?
But here's the thing. That's what I hate about Mario Party is the luck aspect.
It's all luck.
No, it's not. It's not all luck.
It is all luck.
It is not all luck. It is a decent portion of some of them, but for the most part, skill can beat out luck. With some exceptions in some versions of the game.
A game where it would come with a hindrance. Rock Band.
Yeah.
Wow, yes, absolutely.
And they made that. It was Rock Revolution where they put poison notes in there that you have to not hit.
Oh, man. What a good pull. Holy shit.
Nothing else from you guys?
No, like literally,
Nothing's beating Rock Revolution, so.
and literally every game I think would be made worse for me if it had luck added to it.
All right, that's going to do it this week. Again, if you'd like to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. This is your game of the week. You have to do
Night
2,
Witch.
because it's been 2 weeks.
Oh, Night Witch and Midnight Suns then.
Probably Ragnarok last week and Crisis Core this week.
Mine is going to be Melatonin and then God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Remember to submit your votes on the community poll.
Yep.
Time is running out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.